Join us today on Telegram for free and enjoy the Premier League. Don't miss out. Link in description below.
First game in the Premier League, a draw. What do you make of it?
Not a good result, but it's a tough league with a high intensity. But we start very well, and we should have more ball after the first goal. They have so much space to improve, and that is a good thing. But after a draw, you never feel the good things. You try to think in this game, try to think in the next game. So I'm really happy because they try, but they can do so much better.
It was a competitive game. We certainly could have won it. On another day, you can see an early goal to Man United with the motivation they had today. The game can get away from you, and it's credit to the players that it didn't.
Frustrating that we conceded very early. We work on that a lot. Silly goal to give away. We show resilience, and I feel like we play better when we go 1-0 down, and we stuck with it.
Your first Premier League goal as well.
Yeah, very happy. My dream come true, really. Been working very hard for that moment, and to do it against a big team like Man United, very, very happy.
On the manager, the impact that he's only had a short amount of time, but it looks as though it's already rubbing off.
Yeah, it is. Impacted straight away. I think the way that he transmits this idea, I think it's really clear and simple for us to understand. We just need to put in practice now.
When the game starts, it's like I'm playing in Portugal or in third division. I focus so much on the game. Anything is this, everything is the same. So you guys are so lucky. You have the best league in the world. I'm really happy to be here, but today I don't feel much because I like to win games.
Welcome to the Premier League. So, Danny, we saw the 3-4-3. What did the new head coach of Manchester United, what did we learn about his players?
Well, I think defensively, he'll have learned that they're not great. They're lacking athleticism and dynamism in their defending, off the ball work. Problem in the middle of the pitch when you only play two. You have to have two wonderful athletes in there if you're going to play that system. So there's a lot of room for improvement in defensive areas because Ipswich caused them a lot of problems. On a positive, I thought in the first half especially, the attacking patterns looked good, more dynamic, more balanced. Here's the back three. There's the four that we know, and the three more narrow at the top as the pitch, as you can see. You've got Ahmed wide right, Dallo on the left. Bruno was playing in that narrow right 10 position, kept going out there to join Ahmed, which left the space, as you can see, Ahmed running into. And then just here at the bottom of your screen, two wing-backs, but the two highest players up the pitch, and that's a great ball for Rashford to give him a brilliant start. And this is something we saw with the Lisbon team, the wing-backs really being progressive and dynamic and getting up the pitch and taking risks. There's the three and the four again. Dallo does particularly well, comfortable playing left or right. And there's that space. On the other side, you can see Ahmed high and wide, really positive position, good switch of play. And again, both of them causing problems. All the front three are there or thereabouts. Good numbers high up, and Eriksen's coming to support with a decent shot. And this is a good start for Manchester United. Garnacho coming in, starting from a narrow position, using that space in behind because the fullback has to go in with him. And again, top of your pitch, Ahmed. High, wide, positive, difficult to mark those players when you've got such good width and such willingness to run forward. There's the applause from Dallo, encouraging his teammates. And this one again, look at Garnacho's position and Bruno. Nice and narrow, closer to Rashford, trying to support him, leaves big spaces when that fullback gets drawn in and gives the right winger a problem there for Ipswich. Doesn't quite materialise there from Dallo, but they were definitely little patterns of play in the first half that you can see he's worked on this week. And let's be honest, in a year's time, the team's going to evolve, personnel's going to change. We can't judge him after one game, but if there was a positive, that was it for me.
I'll come back to you on the system, if I can, in a moment. Steph, what did you make of United?
Yeah, I think similar to Danny, I think in terms of this is going to be a work in progress and United fans are going to have to be patient, but I think they've brought in a manager that's very intelligent. He knows what he wants from his players, and I think in the system it's going to take time, and you can see them partnerships are starting to develop a little bit, especially in them wide areas, but I think there's a lot of work to do defensively, that's for sure.
Cristiano Ronaldo famously called him the poet of the way he speaks in the dressing room.
Therefore,
he is, absolutely. Therefore, in terms of that system, is that poetry in motion, or do we think that will be changing and evolving?
I'd be amazed if they were still playing a 3-4-3 in a year's time. This league's very, very different than continental leagues. We've only had Chelsea in recent years win playing that system. And let's be honest, they had Kante and Matic, two wonderful defensive midfielders in the middle of the pitch, and Costa up top with Hazard supporting him and helping him as well. They don't have those players yet. And how do you find them? It costs hundreds of millions to get the best players in the world. I think when you play three at the back against the majority of good teams in our league who play three high, you end up being a five, and that's really difficult. I don't think we'll see... If United are going to get much better and be competitive, I think that 3-4-3 will evolve into something else.
And that Chelsea team was solid at the back as well, wasn't it? Also, let's talk about Liam Delap, because what a fantastic game he had. He caused real problems up top.
Yeah, he's having a great season. I don't think that's by coincidence. I think being at Manchester City and seeing him work day in, day out from his knee injury when he went back from Hull to Manchester City to get back fit, I think he's been really impressive and by far Ipswich's best player so far. I think talking 6 goals in 12 games for a young striker to come into the Premier League for a side that is probably going to be fighting relegation this season. I think he's doing a lot of really good things. I think even against tough centre-halves to be able to hold up and use his physicality to bring others into play. I think for me his all-round game is really impressive. I think to be able to link up and play players in, technically very good with the ball, and look, in terms of energy and kind of reading the game and knowing where to be here, you can't describe how good that save is. But I think for Liam Delap, I think every single game he's grown in confidence. I think, and here I absolutely love this. I think to be a young player in the Premier League, but to kind of just show that he's up for it and just shows a little bit of personality. And I feel as though
they're going to need that, aren't they?
Yeah, of course. You have to be up for the fight, and maybe a bit too much there. But I think in these instances here, he's going against the lit and he just shrugs them off, and he's able to turn, he's able to drive, and I think here, just to be able to play that pass with the outside of your foot and then not only that, but get yourself back into the box and to make them runs across the front post, and so unlucky. But to do that, that's why he's full of confidence, and to be able to do that and nearly finish that off would have been a great goal. Here he's in between, he's kind of not attached himself to the centre-half, he's able to do a flick, he's got good awareness, and I think for me, he's such a physical player, but at the same time, technically, he's very, very good, and I think he deserves all the plaudits that he's been getting this season so far.
Yeah, he's got great feet, isn't he, Dan?
He's got a lot of qualities. I mean, I've seen him quite a lot this season, and I'd probably go as far as to say he's, for me, the obvious long-term successor to Keane. I think he's the best young English striker out there. I know he's got a bit to learn, and wisdom comes with experience and game time in this league. But he's got all the attributes to be a top international player.
Yeah, that's some accolade. Yeah.
I just don't see a weakness for him. I mean, he scored enough goals in a struggling side, really, but he gets he gets a lot of chances, he'll score more. He's just got that lovely balance between physical and technical, and rarely you get both. He's a super talent.
Ipswich Town could have won that game today. Is there hope for them?
I think so. I think if they keep playing the way that they're playing, for me, it's about, are they creating chances? And they certainly are doing that. I think at times Man United really struggle with their physicality and their ability to kind of play the likes of Mari Hutchison in the pocket, and he has got a special talent as well. And Ipswich certainly need Delap and Hutchison to be able to stay fit to have their chance of survival.
OK, thank you.
Game, for sure. I think we certainly finished the first half in big ascendancy, and I think the balance of the first half we deserved to be at least level, but probably ahead. And the second half was really competitive. We had a couple of big chances, but we had to defend a lot as well. Man United had some good control, and we had to be disciplined in our defending. So it was a competitive game. We certainly could have won it. On another day, you can see an early goal to Man United with the motivation they had today. The game can get away from you, and it's credit to the players that it didn't. So now we take the positives and we move on.
Not a good result, but it's a tough league with a high intensity. But we start very well, and we should have more ball after the first goal, but we are learning in competition. So it was really hard for them. They were thinking during all the game. They were thinking what to do. It was not like fluid, and it's normal with 2 trainings. But they try. I just ask to try to run. They try to do it. We'll see in the future.
And so the long-awaited first look at Ruben Amorim's Manchester United. Initial impressions?
Well, it's hard to draw conclusions at such an early stage. I think he will grow into it. I really believe in the guy. I do, because I've watched his team play, not only in the Portuguese league, which is obviously a lot less competition than the Premier League. That's what he would have learnt today. He would have learned a team who probably one of the favourites to get relegated should have beat his Man United side. So he know how tough the league is going to be, and they need to improve, but he will know that. But when I've seen his team play in Europe against Arsenal's and against Tottenham's, they've been impressive, with lesser players. I think it's going to take time for him. I think we need to give him the time. He will improve them. I was a little bit surprised at some of the selections, like John O'Shea, for instance, on the left side of a free, to getting out in them wide areas. I thought it was really difficult for him. But obviously Ruben has seen him in training. He's decided who was the best players for the game today. But he will certainly change the team, I would suggest, when they play Everton in their next game.
What did you make of it, the first game under Ruben Amorim, the way he set up, the way he was asking some players to play in different positions, perhaps?
I think Tim mentioned it there, when you come in the international break, you don't have everybody there, and you go in, you're right, this is the group, and this is the group I've been working with, and this is the information I've been getting across, and you know what, I'm just going to go with it, because he's clearly is a high detailed coach. Yeah. He mentioned it there that they're thinking about what I want them to do, where they're not at that fluid time. So imagine if you'd only come in and had one session with him. Yeah. So he's gone with a group he trusted, but like Tim said, you'll see a lot of changes because he's got to come in, he doesn't know the league and he doesn't know his players. Yeah. And he's got to have a clean assessment to say, these are the guys that are going to be with me on the journey and these are not. And he will give them that chance. But you're going to have to take it because he's only got 2.5 years. He's going to have to make ruthless decisions. And his first thing he said was, I need to win games. So he will do what he needs to do. So I think the next couple of weeks will be interesting on his team selection, not just today.
There were certainly more questions than answers today, and he would have expected that. I think Onana was outstanding in goal there. He pulled us some great saves, and he looked more secure in his play as well. I think when they're playing out from the back, I think he had people to hit, not in difficult areas, in precarious areas when under Ten Hag he was being asked to play the ball into dangerous areas centrally and they were getting countered. So I think that was a positive. Ahmed, for me, was very good, right wing back. Other than that, I'm not sure who really secured his position. I mean, when you look at Casemiro and Eriksen in midfield, you look like you would have needed a little bit more legs. This is a goal. I mean, he burst down the outside, does brilliant. And Marcus, this is where you need to see Marcus Rashford in that 6-yard box, getting them areas for them tappings. You're capable of doing it, but this is how they defended. This is how they set up. Look, for me, it's a work in progress. It's going to change. The team will change, and I think it will change for the next game because he didn't expect it to work perfectly, and it certainly never. But he's got a few other options.
He made a comment in that post-match interview that we heard from him where he said they were thinking a little bit too much about what they had to do instead of it being kind of second nature and automatic, which will come with time. But interesting to hear him say that, trying to work out if they were in the correct positions for what the system required.
Well, yeah, when it's good, you get the first goal, your wing-backs are wingers, both sides, and when it's bad, you're in a back five and you're getting done over the top. And the hardest thing in a back five when that system is when to go and when not to go, because if you get your distances and your timing wrong in that shape and that system, that's when you get caught out. And it's so important that the wing backs, they're on it. So that is the hardest part, and then it affects everything else. So it is all about timing, and like we said, they're not going to do it after 2 sessions. If it's 4, 5, 6 weeks in and we're still seeing the same mistakes, might be something to consider that he doesn't have the personnel to play that shape, or he gets them in January. Yeah. So I think we'll find out more in the next few weeks. Way too early so far.
Yeah, and while he said he wasn't happy with the draw, of course he would have loved to start with the win. Great result for Ipswich, to come back, because United could have added to that opening early goal. And remember that Ipswich also beat Spurs away before the break.
Yeah, and they've had time to prepare as well on the international break, and obviously McKenna knows about Man United. He didn't know, obviously, we all guessed it was going to be a different shape, but I thought they were brilliant. I thought they could have gone on and won it, actually. So I think Man United would be coming away thinking, we'll take a draw, because I thought they were excellent.
اروح لهم سي يروحوا ايه اروح لهم ايه يروحوا سي ايه على البنت
فايس سابنا وطلع يجري وفي الاخر داخل لي السايد التاني لما هم دخلوا بقى. هو ايه ده؟ النبي على القرف اللي انا بشوفه. والله لا توكسيك عليه السد بقى هيفن.
عيل ماسك اصلا. والله تعبت نفسيا.
يعني حتى في الام مش عارف يزق الام شويه.
نوبس تيم.
يا نوب تيم. يا 2 6 نايس. Shut the fuck up. You cannot aim.
تعال ترايارد.
تراي هارد ايه يا اسطى تاني؟ طب اكتر من كده يعني العيال بيخشوا كل مره يفشخوني، اللي بيبقى واقف معايا في السايد بيطلع يجري.
والله يجوا سيبه عشان نتخانق. روح يسايد. طبيعي.